We're back at 8:30 on this Tuesday morning. It's the 11th day of September, the year 2001.
Let's show you what's going on around the country, kids. On this Tuesday, the night of the Latin Grammys. Today, nice as it could be across the Northeast. Rough seas still from the chop from that hurricane, but other than that, it's kind of quiet around the country. We like quiet. It's quiet. It's too quiet.
Hi, everybody. I'm Hillary Howard. It is beautiful outside. Perfect September day with lots of sunshine. Oh, would you look at Washington, huh? I'm going outside today.
Hey, can I get you autograph also?
What the hell was that?
It sounded like a plane crash.
This is 135 Jermaine. I guess you got this already. But you got a plane crash into the World Trade Center. You aware of that? You have a plane that crashed into the World Trade Center in Manhattan? World Trade Center in Manhattan.
When the first plane hit, I was actually in AP statistics class. I was a junior at the time.
I was home with my 1.5-month-old son.
I was living in Puerto Rico at the time. I was teaching at a private school there.
And at that time I was working in a marketing office for General Motors.
I was in a big board meeting, about 80 businessmen and women and community leaders. We were all in the top of One Atlantic Center.
And I turned on the television and saw that one of the buildings had smoke all around it. The plane had already gone through the first building.
And on the TV, it had a video showing of the Twin Towers. I did not believe it. I thought it can't be true. It was that we all thought it's a horrible plane accident. That, oh my gosh, this plane left Boston and somehow, you know, hit the Twin Towers.
Nobody really knew exactly what was going on, and you know, my initial reaction was, this is just really, really strange. You know, what's going on? Was this, you know, an attack? Was it an accident?
And I was watching the Today Show, which was like what I do when I don't have to work in the morning. And I was watching in the middle of the broadcast, Katie Couric was on at the time, and then as she was talking, I saw the second plane.
Something else just hit. A very large plane just flew directly over my building, and there's been another collision. Can you...
Just as I was about to get to work in Midtown, they said a second plane has hit the World Trade Center. And I remember thinking, huh, that can't be a coincidence.
And they came on the loudspeaker and said, a second plane has hit. And that was when everybody realized that it was something really important.
I remember for a brief time in mid-morning being scared, thinking, oh, we're 2 miles from CNN, maybe CNN is a target, you know, could this happen here? But that feeling passed, in terms of our own physical safety, passed pretty quickly, and then we were just left feeling numb. And that feeling of disbelief, of feeling numb, of feeling stunned.
There was a girl that was in my dorm who I didn't know, but had a family member who was in New York at the time that she couldn't get in contact with. And I can just remember her panic and in trying to find out if they're fine, because we had no idea what was going on, only through what we could see on the TV.
And then when it was over, it was the series of phone calls. Call my husband, call my parents.
Tuesday, 9:47 a.m.
Hi, baby. Baby, you have to listen to me carefully. I'm on a plane that's been hijacked. I'm on the plane. I'm calling from the plane. I want to tell you I love you. Please tell my children that I love them very much. And I'm so sorry, babe. I don't know what to say There's 3 guys, they've hijacked the plane. I'm trying to be calm. We're turned around, and I've heard that there's planes that's been flown into the World Trade Center. I hope to be able to see your face again, baby. I love you. Bye.
End of message.
Determines motivations before actions are taken.
I'm going to interrupt you, Senator McCain. These are the first pictures we have in. This is where the United Airlines flight, I believe it is 176, went down. I'm sorry, I'm correcting. United Airlines 93. This was a Boeing 757 bound from Newark, New Jersey to San Francisco. It crashed in Somerset County, Pennsylvania, near the town of Shanksville.
The one thing, I still find it very difficult to talk about because you're watching on television and the one thing that really bothered me were the people jumping out of the building right before it collapsed. People were jumping to commit suicide before they burned to death, and you were seeing that.
Without a doubt, the image that stands out was people jumping, and that's not something that's replayed very often now on purpose, but at the time, the first day, the networks were all playing a video of people jumping.
All right, take one and 2, 1. This is as close as we can get to the base of the World Trade Center. You can see the 2 towers. Debris continues to fall and to rain on the people below. There are people hanging from the windows 90 stories up, and a number of bodies have actually hit the pavement. Another one? Take 2. Take 2 and 2, 1. This is as close as we can get to the base of the World Trade Center. You can see the firemen assembled here, the police officers, FBI agents, and you can see the 2 towers. A huge explosion now, raining debris on all of us.
I remember watching it on television, and the moment that they started to fall, it still makes me very emotional. Yeah, it was terrible. I was with people, but we were just horrified. It was very horrifying.
Well, for the longest time, and even now I can think back to that image of the towers collapsing. I must have watched that clip on the news over and over again because it was a mixture of shock that how could anyone do such a thing, and just wanting to somehow try to understand it, even though it was not understandable.
Started with a gigantic rumble, folded in on itself, and collapsed in a huge smoke and dust.
And I know that for many of you, you've heard this a lot, but I think it's important as people join us as they do in moments like this. They are coming in all the time, that there have been attacks in 2 American cities, New York and in Washington. The trade centers here in New York have been hit by airplanes. In Washington, there is a large fire at the Pentagon. The Pentagon has been evacuated. And there's, you can see, perhaps the second tower, the front tower, the top portion of which is collapsing. Good Lord. There are no words.
What happened? It collapsed. The top floors collapsed down. I saw it blow and then ran like hell. Thank God. I'm 69, but I can still run.
Really brought home what was important in life. I took that away with me, that I'm thankful to have my family and my friends around me.
And the other thing I think about a lot today is living a life filled with optimism in the face of having been through experiences like that. Even though I didn't personally experience it or someone very close to me didn't, as a country we all experienced it.
That was kind of the early stage in 2001 of me really questioning what I was doing with my life, how do I want to spend my life.
They're not, you know, our students are not really going to remember it the same way that we did, especially those few years after. So it's something important to never forget and to stress the importance of remembering and what a just terrible act it was.
It seems like, you know, we have to move on, but we also have to remember.
You know, every year we talk about this. I talk about it with students. And when I first started at this school, the kids were saying that they were in like 2nd and 3rd grade. And now the freshmen, sophomores were in preschool when it happened. And in a few years, they're not going to have been alive. And that's jarring to me.
I can always be found.